Win 14 battles with no support? Check. Attempt to inflict burning 60 times? A double check. Kill 10 enemies with Saw Gerrera? Absolutely, let's join the rebellion. And finally, attempt to inflict plague 200 times. Not a problem at all. I've never wanted to be French more because I really want to eat some slugs. Jabba the Hutt, the sector boss, will fall to our might. Don't you worry, ladies and gentlemen of the holotables. Roll the intro.
So give it up.
My dead body.
The Sector 2 feats are not too bad overall. The boss fights are something else. We need to win 14 battles with no supports, we need to attempt to inflict burning 60 times and plague 200 times, and we need to defeat 10 enemies with Saw Gerrera. Now there are a couple of things that will help us get this done, namely I want you to keep an eye out for a particular team. If you can find something like Phoenix, if you can find something like Starkiller, if you can find something even like a Bosk-led bounty hunter team, or anything that is going to survive a lot of debuffs, then make sure you tag it in your path along the way. Certain things are going to require certain data disk setups, and they are going to require certain consumables, so I will give you pre-warnings there. Now, full disclosure, this video was recorded before any changes had been made to the Sector 2 bosses, and I have not got a team for you to beat it with Saw Gerrera just yet, but I will be updating the video later on once those fixes have come in, so make sure you stay tuned. Anyway, let's kick this off. We're going to start off with both Plague and Burning. Okay, so we're going to be using that Phoenix node. Like I said, if you don't have a Phoenix node, try to find yourself a Crew node. Usually it's under a Hux lead. Crew node works okay, so does a Bosk lead bounty hunter team, but most importantly guys, it's about the data disks. As we're doing a lot of debuffs, make sure you're not running something like Amplify Agony. The idea of this is to actually just stall out the battle as much as possible. Now the data disks that I recommend, but they're not entirely necessary that you use, Voluntary Vanguard will really help here, Unstable Decelerator really helps because it will take away TM from the enemy team. Then we're just looking for things that are going to increase our turns and our survivability. So gaining additional max health and max protection, Ruthless Swiftness to give us additional turns, and then Protection Recovery so that we can actually keep ourselves alive. So the team I'm running with is a Mother Talzin lead with Daka, Zombie, Merrin, and Malak. Malak is going to be taking that Voluntary Vanguard and assuring that most hits are going to be hitting him. Doesn't matter if a couple hit Zombie, that's perfectly acceptable. My Zombie, nothing here is above gear 12 apart from Malak, who is R9. The others are like gear 12 and gear 10. So yeah. You don't have to actually land the Plague, ladies and gentlemen. If they resist the Plague, that is perfectly acceptable, and you should be able to get about 70 or 80 per round. Now, if you've got a couple of the Zetas, which I do not on this team, then you'll be able to actually get more Plagues, and you should be able to get it done in a battle or two. The great thing about this is that the Phoenix team are incredibly survivable. They will be able to take an absolute beating from the enemies, and it's just not going to kill them. You have to be a little bit careful if you're using Malak like I am. That shock will stop the health recovery, and if you accidentally kill someone like Chopper, it can set you back quite a lot. Things to look out for, Mother Talzin, for example, if she uses a basic against anybody that already has Plague, she will put additional stacks of Plague on, or at least attempt to. Under her leadership, every special that we use will attempt to apply Plague as well. Every special that we use from a Night Sister. Now, I accidentally, when I was recording this footage, I accidentally still had Ramping Offense over here. So we had that Ruthless Offense data disk, and it turns out that Malak just started really doing some serious damage towards the end. But I was still able to get 70 odd plus Plagues per round. This will work absolutely the same way against something like a Barris-led Starkiller team who does happen to have his Omicron. I have seen one in Sector 1, didn't actually find one in Sector 2, and Crew will also be able to do this very well himself. Now, again, you have to be careful not to apply shock and kill units. You want to keep them alive. The aim here is not to win the battle. It is just to stall out so that we can get a bunch of Plagues. Now, I would recommend if you already have a lot of investment in your Night Sisters, then just go ahead and use them. Mine are trash tier, like I'm talking gear 12 maximum. Very few Zetas. I didn't feel comfortable trying to actually get anything done. Using Malak here with Voluntary Vanguard, for me, was an easy way of getting those debuffs. And the great thing about this is we can use the same approach here for burning. So once again, we're going up against the exact same team, still using Phoenix, and I'm just throwing in JTR with BB-8, C-3PO, R2-D2, and BT-1. Now my BT-1 is like gear 9 or something, but he has another source of an AoE burn. All you want to do is use the exact same methodology. You'll be able to burn with R2-D2 and burn with BT-1. You want to try and get those triple stacks of burning, triple stacks of translation on our good boy R2-D2, and then if you get the opportunity, try to call C-3PO to assist to decrease his cooldowns. BT-1 will be able to add some more again. Now, again, when you're using data disks here, the key part is you do not want to try and have anything that is going to ramp your damage output. You want to keep that low. Do not have things like thermal detonators. Do not have amplify agonies. Don't even have volatile accelerator, okay? You want to be able to let the opponents take their turns. This is even easier than the Plague one, to be honest. And even be careful with JTR here. JTR is going to be generating a lot of TM, but you do not want to use her first special, for example, and put that locked heal immunity like I've done on Chopper. Now, I've also got unstable decelerators over here, so I should be removing TM when I'm hitting my opponents, which can make it nice because these guys can survive a heck of a lot of debuffs, and you've got a lot of turn meter removal for the team, so you should be able to knock this out in just one battle. Again, take off any ramping offense data disks, and you should be able to do this lickety-split without any real issues. Perfection. So I've got a couple of teams for you here that use no support. First and foremost, my favorite, come on guys, it's Rebels. You know your boy Scribble's going to be happy when there's Rebels that I can use. Essentially, you just need to drop C-3PO out of there and throw in someone like Old Ben. These guys are all attackers. You can use this on the bonus node at the end, but also CLS, with the right data disks, can absolutely melt anything that you come across. Using stuff like Volatile Accelerator and Amplify Agonies, you will shred things to literal bits. You should be able to easily get multiple victories as you're progressing through the sector with CLS. But that's not the only team. We can also quite handedly use a Jedi team. I'm going here with Jedi Knight Revan, Jedi Knight Luke, Ahsoka Tano, Gas, and GK. Now you could split these teams up further, but I feel between using CLS and between using a decent Jedi team like this, you should be able to make really good progress. Again, end of the day, you can always farm the bonus node for additional datacron materials and just get your wins there easily. I do recommend trying to go through the sector and getting some of these no support victories though as you go. One last team though before we finish. Yes, we're going back to the spark of the resistance. It's Rey. She does perfectly well as a no support team. Yes, I know she works very well with BB-8 and R2-D2 and all that business, but you can just use her with the Bag Bros. You can throw in Holdo. Holdo is a tank. We've got Major Tom over here. He's an attacker, and these guys do pretty well as well. I used these at, about 70 or 80% stamina on the bonus node here, and I was still able to clear out without too many issues. You do good damage output, you've got good survivability, so why not? There are plenty of options. I'm just using this to see what you guys can use. Alrighty, moving on. So for the last sector feat that we need to cover, we're talking about kills with Saw Gerrera. Now, I've used this on the bonus node, Mon Mothma mirror match essentially. It's not an ideal way of getting it done. Kyle-Katarn gets a decent amount of speed out the gate and can help you get those kills. If you've got Jedi Master Luke Skywalker, just use him with a bunch of Jedi and Saw Gerrera and just constantly use his leadership ability, Inherited Teachings, to pass the additional attack out of turn with all that true damage over to Saw Gerrera, and you'll get through it quickly. The good thing about the Mon Mothma node at the end of this sector is that you can farm the Scarif Rebel Pathfinder, so you should be able to get this done in like 2 battles maximum. It's really not so bad if you're using typical setups that are going to increase your damage when you're attacking out of turn, particularly with Mon Mothma, or anything that will help you do damage via Volatile Accelerator and Amplify Agony. Honestly, guys, even with a relatively low gear Saw Gerrera, you should be able to make this work so long as you can protect him and call him to assist. Now that we've got all of those sector feats out of the way, let's take a look at the mini-boss and the main boss. The mini-boss, really not so bad. We're going up against a Bosk Bounty Hunter team. We have to win without using any Jedi, Sith, or Unaligned Force users, and we have to win with Tarful surviving. Honestly, guys, this one is actually pretty easy. Yes, they've got one step ahead. Yes, they've got over-prepared. When you're looking at data disks, we're thinking damage output right now. I'm talking Volatile Accelerator, Amplify Agony, anything that is going to kill the enemy as quickly as possible. Let's look at the team, because we can get this done in one setup, one battle. So we're going in with a BAM lead Scoundrels. We're throwing in Han and Chewie. That gets us damage out the gate. We're throwing in Dash Rendar, and then we're throwing in Tarful at the end. This team, I've used it so many times in my past videos, it absolutely destroys everything. Now, because Bosk was in the leadership, they are going to be recovering lots of stats when we are attacking them. This is also a decent place to actually use the Phoenix and the Plague Kills, by the way, because of all the recovery that they will have. But don't worry, with the BAM lead, we've got a means of permadeath and locked heal immunity. Well, not locked heal immunity, just heal immunity in general. Moreover, if you are using Volatile Accelerator, they will actually eventually die to just the dots hitting them organically as well. So this one takes me a little bit of time, but as you can see, they never really take a turn. Now, obviously, BAM, Han, Chewie, Dash, Rendar have all got very good relic levels in this example. My Tarful is only gear 12, but they don't really even take a turn. So you should be able to get through this even with a low gear Tarful. Just have him unlocked, have a bit of gear on him just to make sure he doesn't inadvertently die to an AoE. But as you can see, with BAM passing so much additional turn meter to the team, thanks to us applying all the debuffs, Volatile Accelerator very much helps here, the enemy just doesn't really get to do anything. There's one turn I think they had right at the end. So super smashing great. I think we have to wait now for BAM to actually take his turn to get all those whistling birds out and just yeet Dengar off the map. But super easy, guys. One team, straight in, straight out. Just how I like it. Let's get to the meat and potatoes, guys. Now, full warning. Time of this recording, you know, this this large boss here was not fixed at all. He's completely broken, ridiculous amounts of speed, super fast ult, stupid amounts of damage. I wish my Jabber was this good. However, it is possible, at least on the dark side, I could only do this with a couple of provisos. So in order for me to beat this, I did need to use a couple of consumables, guys. They're not here anymore, but I needed to use Initial Frenzy tech, which applies Frenzy to 2 turns for the whole team, and then I think I just threw on some additional survivability and damage boosters over here. You might as well use them as you're going through, guys. Just throw them on there. Now, the problem with this is that Jabber will hit ult very quickly, and they are very tanky. So we need a specific data disk setup. I don't recommend using Unstable Decelerator, because whenever you're attacking the enemy and you're reducing his turn meter, then they are going to gain bonus protection. So we don't want to do that. So the team that I actually used with this initial frenzy tech is as follows. We just go ahead, we get rid of everybody there. We go in with Imperial Troopers. You take Veers and Stark and Dark Trooper and Range Trooper, and then you throw in our good boy, Wat Tambor. So the idea behind this is Wat Tambor places the weapons tech on Dark Trooper at the gate, and that starts our frenzy. Let's see how it goes. And here we have it. So the idea behind this, like I said, we're going to go ahead and use Wat to place the weapons tech on Dark Trooper. None of us can attack out of turn just now, thanks to that deadly foe, I think it is, that Bouch is putting on. Just throwing out AoE, place the mark on Dark Trooper. It's still very, very valuable. And then just keep on going. Now, as far as data discs are concerned, guys, you want to be having things that are going to increase your damage. Stuff like Ruthless Offense, stuff like attacking out a turn, increasing your offense by percentile as well. So we can't assist just yet, like I said, but because of that frenzy tech, everybody is looping through their turns twice. And that does mean that we are going to be gaining or getting rid of that deadly foe debuff immediately. So as you can see, I've even got thermal detonators here to help, but it's not really doing all that much good. I think it wouldn't have mattered if I had that or not. So Boba Fett takes a turn, and then now we can finally actually start attacking out of turn. Yeah, sure, we lose 1 stack of Dark Trooper, but honestly, it's really not bad. As you can see, the damage output that we have is quite frankly absurd. Already Lando is going down. Let's just get a big old hit from Dark Trooper. 18 thermal detonators on our good boy Lando. He didn't get a chance to actually have them blow up. But again, just keep that mark on Dark Trooper and just go to town. You see Jabber's got 0 ult meter right now, so we should be able to just keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. He'll die very, very quickly thanks to the sheer damage output that our good boy Dark Trooper is doing. Boom, boom, look at that go. 33 thermal detonators and 23 of the damage over times. It works very well. I'm not sure if there's another team that can do it like that. If you've got things like Reaver, I was able to do this with Reaver Inquisitorius as well, but I didn't want to do a video where I was just like, hey guys, just use your Relic 9 Reaver. But if you've got it, why not? I will get a video down for Saw Gerrera as well, guys, because I feel like I need to wait for the fixes to come in. It is too hard to do that without a GL just now, I feel. Unless I had another Frenzy tech, and then I could probably make something work. Alright guys, let me know in the comments section down below, has this video helped? If it has, please hit that like, please hit that subscribe. Make sure you tune in for the next video where we're covering Sector 3 Conquest Feats. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.